Alright, welcome back to the channel. Today we are on the iPhone because my cameras are dead and they're charging now, and I just didn't plan it far enough in advance to get them ready. So we're on the iPhone today. Today we're going to be working on the Land Cruiser. I know it's been a minute. I'm excited about the dirt biking and it keeps me in shape, but back to the Land Cruiser. So we're going to first make sure we have enough axle grease. We're going to install these brackets, which are the rear disc brake caliper brackets, onto the axle, clean up this seal, and throw everything back together. I still don't have a gasket for the pumpkin rear differential, but we can reassemble everything and then just leave the cover off until that stuff comes, / I can make it to make it to Napa to get that bit of stuff. I might have to make my own gasket using the housing as a template, but that's a minor detail. So, should be a quick one today. Let's start putting everything together. But anyway, we're gonna attach the calipers to this bracket that I installed, and that'll be pretty easy. Boom. So we put the bracket on. Push that up there. All right, so remember, this piece goes on the bottom. Can you see it? There you go. This piece goes on the bottom. This red one. This is your bleed valve that goes on the top. We're going to throw some pads on real quick just so that it saves us a little bit of work. Brake caliper goes on like so. And then we got some bolts that hold everything together. So here's the problem. These two calipers are the same, right? But one of them, this tab is there, the other, this tab isn't. So this must be the front caliper. Because this tab right here was hitting the housing right there. So another issue, that piece is contacting again. So I'm gonna have to grind off more, it looks like. Not a problem, it's just a little annoying. Okay, so we ground down this right here, as well as the top right here, because it was interfering again. So let's throw in the brake pads, like so. Okay. And install the caliper. We got some rubbing on this side, good clearance on that side, but these aren't bolted down all the way. Once that happens, should be cooking with gas. So looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. On to the other side. Okay, now for the other disc brake. Boom. Other side is now on. We got two front discs. They don't do anything because there's no fluid, but at least they're on. Sweet. All right, let's start on the rear. Alrighty, I thought I was recording, but apparently I wasn't, so I just cleaned up the rear axle seal. There's the axle. I'm gonna throw some grease on the bearing right there so that when it makes contact with that bearing, it's all good and dandy. And then this seal is actually the original seal. It actually looks really good. So I'm just reusing it. And look, you can see down through the center. All right, let's get this thing reinstalled. And then here is the bracket for the rear caliper. So bracket goes like this. Caliper sits in it like that. And then it all bolts up. These holes right here line up with those holes. So pretty straightforward job. First step, we are going to install our bracket. Let's line up these bolt holes. And these are carriage bolts and they have a ridge on the back. So you don't need to worry about holding the back while you tighten them down. But that being said, I don't know if we have enough thread. So we might have to do this in steps where we've got that piece. It's a big lock washer. Let's see, will this fit on it? No. We might have to go and get a thinner lock washer because that thing is thick. And that way we can get all the threads on there. But for now, I'm going to thread that on. And then we will come back to it at a later date because I'm going to Seattle this weekend and I won't have time to go to the store again. So just to get everything lined up, we're going to put on these without the lock washers. But remember to put lock washers back on here because that would be bad if you didn't. Not the end of the world, but just not ideal. Okay, time to put some grease in there. Don't need a lot because it's gonna be, you know, mostly filled with gear oil. Get this out of the way so you can actually see what I'm doing. It's already pretty good in there. This is just a precaution. And sure, in the comments you're gonna yell at me for, why'd you put grease in? Well, because I wanted to. And I just knocked something off in the diff. So let's see what that was. It's the spider gear. All right. So let's see, can you see that? And on focus. I just put that in there. So now the axle turns nicely. And it gets held on with these C-clips, which I'll put in a second. And the C-clips stay in with these blocks right here. This block So that goes in between. And this bar right here goes in between that. And it's all super fun. All right, let's do some testing. Okay, so minor issue. Looks like I'm gonna have to go to the hardware store and get some new bolts because I wanted to test fit the rotor and make sure that it actually fit on here. Okay, so big mode. This gets flush all the way up. It's actually touching the bracket, which means it has to go on the other side. So this bracket needs to go on the other side here because, yeah, that gives the caliper enough clearance. At least I think. Should give the caliper enough clearance to actually engage the rotor. I'm gonna do another double check, but that is unfortunate. All right, so I just tightened on the bracket. So again, I'm gonna have to get more bolts because that's not enough threads, and I need to put a lock washer on there. That's definitely key. All right, let's throw the disc rotor on and then the caliper, and we'll see how it looks. Boom, it is on. I'm gonna tighten that down for the time being, and then we'll come back and get that bracket stuff on the back. So, exciting. The lighting's not as good on the other side, so I'm gonna do that off camera, but then I'll bring you back and we'll deal with the pumpkin. All right, we're back under the Land Cruiser, and now we're gonna start reassembling the differential. So, both axles are in. We got these C-clips. Those should just drop in like so. I don't have enough space right now, so I need to adjust the axle positioning, and then that'll help. So let's do that first. Okay, so what I did was I pulled on each disc brake. Now I've got more room. Both C-clips are in there. I just couldn't really do it on camera very well. So, C-clips are in. Now put in the top and bottom spider gears. We're going to put this in the bottom right here. Get the second spider gear cleaned up. Because I'm not quite there yet. All right. Block goes in. Wow, okay. All right, the final piece of the equation is this, which goes right there. Sweet. So we are reassembled. Everything looks good. Loosey-goosey because it's an old truck, but that's how it was. So turn these lights off. thanks for watching this episode. Been fun. Next time, I'm going to be making a gasket for the pumpkin, and then I'm going to be filling it with gear oil. So that's all the old oil. I'm going to get some new stuff. As you can see, it's very hot. It's like 97 degrees out, and also uncharacteristically humid for Colorado. Like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.